Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right,
Yes, sir.
guys, today's court hearing is absolutely
You
wild.
don't have a name?
We've got Matthew
Pardon?
Aldridge here, or at least that's what the papers say, but the guy at the podium is pulling the whole I don't have a name act.
Well,
He's
let me
calling
explain
himself
to
the
you.
attorney of fact,
Only an
which isn't even a
attorney at
real thing in
can
law,
stand
by the
in
way.
court and represent
These sovereign
a
citizen types
criminal
always try to
defendant.
argue that the court
And
has no
to do
power
so
over them.
otherwise
But here's the
violates
deal.
criminal
Courts
law
have
statutes
jurisdiction
of the
over
state of
anyone in their
Tennessee.
area,
It
period.
could land someone who
The
attempts
judge
to
isn't buying it for a
represent
second and
themselves as
shuts
an
him down
attorney
in the
at
most
law
epic way.
in serious trouble.
At the end,
I
he really
understand what you're
outsmarts
saying.
this guy. Let's go
I
ahead
understand
and
you're
get
saying
into
an
it.
attorney in fact.
I know.
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
Name, I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't we court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
I mean,
Yes,
it's
sir.
one thing that the guy is claiming to be an attorney of fact,
You don't have
but
a
to
name?
back it up, he literally just handed the judge some paper. I know you guys didn't get to see it because it was kind of a slow part, but the
Well,
paper
let me
basically
explain
quoted
to
a
you.
made-up law that
Only
supposedly
an
gives him the
attorney
right
at
to
law
represent
can
Matthew
stand
Aldridge.
in court and
For those
represent
wondering,
a
real attorneys
criminal
have to be
defendant.
licensed by the state and
And
follow
to do
actual
so
legal
otherwise
procedures, none of
violates
this
the criminal law
DIY, single piece
statutes
of
of the
paper,
state of
legal
Tennessee.
fantasy stuff.
And could land someone who
Sovereign
attempts
citizens
to
like this guy
represent
love to
themselves
argue
as
about
an attorney at
jurisdiction,
law
as if declaring
in serious
themselves above
trouble.
the law
I
actually
understand
works.
what you're saying.
Spoiler, it doesn't.
I understand you're saying an
Courts rely
attorney
on
in fact.
well-established laws, not
And
imaginary
what I
ones,
want you to
and the judge here
understand
is not here to
that
entertain this
if
nonsense.
you have a power
Honestly,
of attorney,
is this whole sovereign
then you
citizen
need
thing
to
becoming more
demonstrate that
popular,
power of
or am I
attorney.
just
Do you
unlucky
have a
enough to
legal
keep stumbling
document called
across
a
these
power of
bizarre
attorney?
cases? Let me know in the comments.
Okay. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be a article pre-trial, a trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly, it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge
Yes,
here
sir.
is handling this lunatic like an absolute
You
pro.
don't have a name?
I mean, he's
Pardon?
staying calm while shutting him down at every turn. This guy barely even got a chance to push his attorney-of-fact
Well,
nonsense
let me
before the
explain
judge
to you.
dismantled it piece by
Only an
piece.
attorney at law.
It seems like the
can
judge
stand
either
in
took
court
this
and
personally or that he just
represent
deals
a
with this kind
criminal
of stuff a
defendant.
lot, especially
And
when the guy
to do
started
so
quoting his
otherwise
made-up laws.
violates the criminal law
I just think
statutes
it's
of the
really
state of
funny how the
Tennessee
judge went in and
could
said he
land
can't
someone
even
who
utter his
attempts
name.
to
That was kind of
represent
hilarious.
themselves as an attorney at law
Usually, you see
in
judges
serious
being more
trouble.
stoic and
I
not showing
understand what you're
expression, so
saying.
that stood out to me.
I
But it
understand
was
you're
clear from
saying
the
an
start
attorney
that
in
this judge
fact.
was not going to waste any of his
And what I
time on
want
this
you to
circus of a guy.
understand is that
At the end of the
if
day,
you
though, it
have a
just goes to
power of
show how
attorney,
ridiculous and pointless
then
these
you need
stunts
to
really
demonstrate
are.
that power of attorney. Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Your, whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be set, will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign
Yes, sir.
citizens are truly something else. These are people who believe
don't
they can
have a
opt
name?
out of the legal system by
Pardon?
claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll spout off about things like common law or the UCC,
Well, let
the
me explain
Uniform
to you.
Commercial Code,
Only
completely
an
misunderstanding
attorney at
how
law
these
can
laws actually
stand in
work.
court and
Just to be
represent
clear,
a
courts
criminal
operate under
defendant.
federal, state,
And
and
to
local
do so
laws that have been in
otherwise
place for
violates the
centuries and
criminal
are
law
backed by the
statutes of the
Constitution.
state of Tennessee.
There's no
You could
loophole
land
where you can
someone who
simply
attempts
decide the
to
rules don't apply to
represent
you,
themselves
yet these
as an
folks
attorney
clog
at
up
law
courtrooms with bizarre
in serious
arguments,
trouble.
wasting
I
everyone's time and
understand what you're
achieving
saying.
absolutely nothing except a criminal
I
record in the
understand you're
process.
saying an attorney in fact.
Legally, the whole sovereign
And
citizen
what I
defense
want you
falls
to
apart because
understand
of
is
jurisdiction. Courts have
if
authority over
you
anyone
have a
within their
power of
geographic
attorney,
area, no matter
then
what
you
legal
need to
nonsense you
demonstrate
claim.
that power of attorney. Do
That
you
stuff
have
might
a
sound
legal
clever in
document
echo
called a
chambers,
power of
but
attorney?
judges have seen it all and don't entertain it for a second.
Okay.
Trying to
Then you
avoid
don't have
taxes
any
or dismiss
authority
a
to
speeding
act
ticket
on
with these
behalf of
tactics
Matthew
doesn't just
Aldridge in
fail,
this
it can
court.
result in heavier penalties
You
for
have no
wasting the
legal
court's
authority,
time.
nor do you have any
I don't get why people keep
authority
trying
through
this.
a
Do they
legal
really think
document
they're
to
outsmarting the
represent
system,
or
or
to
is it just
act
a
on
weird
behalf
sense
of
of
Matthew
rebellion?
Aldridge.
Either way, it's ridiculous and honestly kind of sad. They're not fighting the system. They're just making fools of themselves.
Show it to the
Anyways,
bailiff and
that
he'll
wraps
show it
up
to
my
me.
breakdown for today. If you enjoyed, don't
All right.
forget to like and
Apparently there's a
subscribe,
copy
and
here.
let me know what you think about